Well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It's a glorious, rainy Monday morning over here from Helsinki, Finland. Absolutely fucking love it because I've had enough of this stupid-ass sun. Stop this nonsense and let me sleep. Anyways, as always, I do want to wish everyone a happy and healthy start to their holiday, or at least I believe this is more or less a world holiday today, as Jesus has risen. Yes, there we go. I think that's it at least. Anyways, happy holidays to all of the holiday celebrators out there. Happy Monday to all of the non-celebrators out there. Just have a fucking nice Monday. How about that? Anyways, with that said, we have plenty to talk about today, mostly with traditional markets, mostly with Ethereum. Bitcoin obviously kind of doing its thing, consolidating, but being more or less grandpa boring coin right now if you are trading. If you are investing, well, you're probably more focused on the long term anyways, so no problem on that. Anyways, I do want to put the focus right here on, of course, the podcast that I uploaded last night, and I've actually been uploading quite a few of these over the last week or so. I think we did about 4 of them thus far, and I'll be uploading another one on Wednesday with Mr. Z Fells of the Discord. Last night was with Mr. J. Absolutely fucking love that one, and both these guys just absolutely killing it. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. Of course, we had last week Mr. Jack and of course Eric and Ken from the Liquidity Zone, which should also let you know that the Liquidity Zone is actually releasing their next issue of their newsletter this week. So with that said, if you are interested in such things, definitely check it out right here because really good stuff. And if you are interested in traditional markets, that is just going to be a good way to kind of, get your feet wet, of course, and just get a general overview with some, pretty damn knowledgeable and of course professional traders themselves. So with that in mind, what else do we want to say? Well, we got it actually running over here too. Well, let's actually put the focus on the Krown application, which can be found, by the way, at app.krown.net. You already fucking know that. The link's in the description below. And I imagine today is going to be honestly a very quiet Monday, as most of the world, while technically speaking, the Friday prior was obviously your holiday day where everyone gets off from the markets. A lot of the time, the week to follow, a lot of people kind of take like a 4 to 5 day weekend, at least in my experience in traditional land. So again, more or less quiet, but we do actually have a few things to be talking about. Anyways, Bitcoin dominance did come down a little bit more from yesterday to today, and this is going to complete the reverse, or not reversal, but continuation formation, which means I'm going to be wrong on Bitcoin dominance. No reversal right there, and down we go. Altcoin season, I suppose, keeps on going on. Anyways, with that in mind, fear and greed index also did tick down about 3 points from yesterday to today. It was stuck at like a 74 for 4 or 5 days on end. Now coming down to a 71. Again, not really anything too crazy right there. We are essentially looking at Bitcoin within a consolidation range, while the rest of the market does have the party that Bitcoin was kind of enjoying as of, like the last few months, really. Going from 10,000 to 60,000 is definitely nothing to balk at. On top of that, we do see open interest coming down a little bit from yesterday to today again as well. Not anything too crazy right there. More importantly, this does still fit within the general narrative that Bitcoin laws are essentially running the market. And as long as this consolidation is essentially operating on a higher low structure, I do remain with a long-term Bula-ish bias, even a medium-term Bula-ish bias as well. Short-term sideways, maybe a little bit of downside, but I think right now is going to be really the time to be looking at actually Ethereum and even Ripple too. Ripple almost headed up to our 90-cent target in the early morning hours, it looks like. So as always, the junk does rally last, but I would suspect that in this sort of rotational market, what we would expect to see if it is going to continue is that after the junk rallies, then if we are going to get continuation, then you'd expect Bitcoin in the majors to rally once again. So with that said, this is starting to look more and more interesting for a later April continuation phase. On top of that, we got the top 10 worst coins over here. Pretty much all of the ones that we saw from the last couple weeks on the top 10 gainers, now in the top 10 losers. And it's like all of the top 10 gainers are 2017 shitcoins: Bittorrent, Tron, XRP, OMG, Siacoin, Zilliqa, Hollow, Dash, fucking Dash is there. Dash has been dead for forever. Dent and Stellar, the old Rumens right there. Anyways, into the market data tab we go. Let's see what we got going on over here. Funding rate still continues to trend to the downside, which is good, again, for the long-term look of this. All of the underlying market dynamics do still point towards further continuation to the north side for Mr. Bitcoin. On top of that, we do see that open interest did not necessarily make new highs right here, but that's okay. At the end of the day, we are still essentially right around the prior all-time highs, and this is more or less a setup alongside price action. On top of that, what else do we see? We can see once again that the funding rate per exchange is really just FTX kind of hoisting it up right there. Bybit a little bit on the upper side as well, but everyone else way down, even less than 0.05% on average, it looks like. So as always, FTX the outlier, but they do change their funding rates rather frequently, so that is, and they're also kind of like one of the more popular exchanges right now too. So that's kind of to be expected. And it's almost as if we should maybe even just get rid of the extreme reads on this one, especially on the global funding rate over here, because you can quite literally see that it would be just, straight downtrend ever since January, of course. So with all of that said, I mean, underlying market dynamics are more or less steady, more or less the same. And that really, just plays into the long-term case of this asset. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different today. I want to start it off with actually SPY futures, as I do believe that this is leading more or less the world markets right now. We do see that SPY is, of course, leading US markets as far as major indices go, and this being heavily correlated with Bitcoin and, well, just everything in the world. Of course, the whole crypto landscape, I suppose, it's they're all kind of related to each other. I would be looking at this as yet again another signal that, yes, we very likely do continue from this, mid $50,000 base and very likely make new all-time highs, probably on Bitcoin, 69,000 to 70,000 bucks, and probably Ethereum, probably 25 to maybe even 3,000 bucks on the next phase. Anyways, with that said, this is still in breakout mode right here. Again, this is more or less a quiet day for traditional land, but we do see several good things going on right here. We see obviously daily Stokes still up and at 'em. We do see daily DMI ADX in the infancy of a nice bullish signal right here, with the DMI plus very much dominant and the ADX strengthening from an extremely low position. In fact, we haven't even really seen an expansion phase or just an up phase, directional up phase on the DMI ADX really since like November. We did have kind of a one-off right here in January, obviously, but you can see that even these very, 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 very like anemic signals have actually been playing out for some pretty nice moves. So overall, I do still look at this as more or less likely to make new highs, and that's going to bode well for the general markets. Does that mean that we necessarily see Bitcoin go up immediately on short-term timeframes for you crazy motherfuckers out there on less than a 4-hour? No, probably not. In fact, if we go over here to, more importantly, the weekly for SPY futures, you can see once again it's kind of just a runaway right now, and clear, just clear. I wouldn't say clearly, but very, 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 very likely. How about that? Yeah, very likely to continue onwards and up here. It's trending above the top side Toronto band on the daily. Weekly closed on new all-time highs last week to end Good Friday, and generally speaking, I'm going to favor the upside almost always based off a signature like that. Of course, we do have long-term targets, I guess not on this chart, but on my regular charts over there. I suspect that they're still somewhere around about 40,000, not 40,000, 4,030, which we did hit last week. That's producing a little bit of a sideways range in the short-term time frames, but ultimately, I think the next target, if we go back on over here, is probably somewhere around, let's see, actually, probably 4,100 if I had to guess. Let's see what it actually populates. Hey, that's not, hold on, what the fuck is going on right now? Hey, what the, oh wait, no, we're on NASDAQ, that's right. Let's go to SPY futures. There we go. Yep, about 4150-ish region, and 4,200 going to be a big one long term. But that is long term after all, not necessarily relevant to today's price action, to be honest with you. Anyway, so with that said, I do more or less just look for this kind of continue onwards and upwards. Obviously, we did see a full-on reversal, or I wouldn't necessarily say full-on reversal, but obviously a higher low confirmed on NASDAQ futures again at the end of last week. I'm looking for continuation here, back up to, pretty much the highs over the next week or two, and then same thing on Dow Jones as well, actually just making new all-time highs, and I essentially have the same sort of interpretation of this as I did last week. Very likely new all-time highs on top of that. I'm not really bearish on anything in traditional markets as far as major indices go, and again, that all being related to just about everything in this world is going to make me more or less bullish, at least for the next couple of weeks here, and probably just most of April. Anyways, I do want to address the title of this video because we need a little bit of clickbait in our life, of course, and what can we say about that? Well, I'd like to put the spotlight on Ethereum right now, just because it's the one that's most likely to do some more interesting things. Most importantly, we did get a very, 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 very good weekly closure here on Ethereum to end yesterday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is. Do I think that we could have a little bit of downside here? Yeah, wouldn't really take too much to test back down in 1950. But more importantly, with the way that we closed that last weekly, I would be looking for further upside continuation, still to about $2,500 target, maybe even this week, maybe probably more like next week. But then again, there is some old meme of me saying like probably happens over the next couple of weeks, then happens fucking today, right? Anyways, looking at this right here, yeah, I'd be looking at any sort of a move back down to 1950 short term as a nice little opportunity, at the very least for a short term, medium term bounce, probably for long term continuation. I have nothing bad to say about this formation in its current posturing, and we do see that weekly Stokes just bounce off the critical zone right here, and this is the exact signature that I've been kind of pointing out for the last, well, for a while now, but more importantly, we're seeing it right in front of our very fucking faces, where you're not trending, but where you are operating above the critical zone and then using the critical zone as a bit of a basing. That is in your strong trending formations. Of course, this is also playing off of this same sort of trend line going all the way back to our lows in December 2019. That was December 2019, is like quite literally 2 years ago. Yeah, Jesus Christ, man, that is insane. No, year and a half, whatever the fuck, something like that. Anyways, more importantly, you could essentially interpret this as a test of that. It's more or less a regression, actually, even coming in from a further date on September 2019, in fact. And I would be looking for this yet again to give another try to the upside, just based off that. And of course our weekly DMI plus signal, which is very much still dominant, as the ADX does get a little bit of a strong signal there as well. So overall, I do look for continuation here on Ethereum. Of course, with the crypto market more or less trading with each other, I do believe that bodes well for just about everything within the crypto market. Of course, Bitcoin included in that as well, but Bitcoin taking a bit of a breather, going sideways here as altcoin season, I suppose, commences. Anyways, going down to the daily, do we see anything of particular note right here? I mean, you have your very obvious and classic play, which is testing the prior breakout region. In this case, well, that's going to be quite literally your 1950-ish region. So if Ethereum does come back down there and test it, actually it looks like it did that yesterday, 1979 and a half right there on that downside tick. I'd say that pretty much was it. So if you are playing this one as Bula-ish, it's pretty easy trade here, not because it's 100% guaranteed to work out. Nothing is, obviously, but the way to manage risk on this one is pretty damn cut and dry. Anywhere below yesterday's low, you got a bit of problems and probably does come down a little bit further south. And this could even turn into a swing failure pattern if that does happen. Is that what I'm looking for to happen? No, but that would be my conditions for essentially switching on. As it stands right now, we just got a backfill on yesterday open. Typically speaking, that's going to be a nice little bounce area, and I would be looking for another try back up towards the topside Toronto band and further continuation. Of course, we did sell off on the 1.272 right here, that first target after the actual breakout. Classic stuff. Again, nothing really concerning for myself. I'm sure that someone's going to say, but Krown, don't we have bearish divergence here? No, you don't. You have bearish derpish because at the end of the fucking day, man, if you don't have a confirmed local high, then you don't have shit. And in this case right here, you just have kind of a complex continuation as long as 1950 essentially holds. Or if you want to be super exact, 1966, just basically yesterday's low. And as long as that condition is met, I really have no real reason to be bearish on this. Now, if we do break back down below this, or not if we, but if Ethereum does break back down below this, then I would be looking at a move probably back down somewhere around the 20 simple here. And that actually would be rather big move, 1820-ish region. So it would be a nasty swing failure pattern. But as it stands right now, again, I don't really have any real reason to believe that, especially with the way that traditional markets are operating as well. Tony Rosas says, damn, how much Cuban coffee and Red Bull have you drank today? Actually, I don't. Unnecessary carbs, bro. I don't drink fucking Red Bull with all that sugar garbage. Jesus Christ, man. Carnivore for life, bro. Anyway, sorry. It's always fun to have a bullshit conversation. Anyways, yes, still looking at this as an ascending triangle right here too. And measure move on that one is actually confluent, as it should be, with the 2-spot extension around $2,500, and that's essentially where I'm looking for this one on this continuous leg right here. I'm curious for the other term, if the other medium-term timeframes have anything to say about this. 12 hours, more or less just continuation right there. I don't really see anything of particular note. MACD is a little bit turning down, but that's not a huge issue. Again, we could get wicks lower, but at the end of the day, as long as there's no break, I don't really have any real reason to be looking at this as concerning. Same thing on the 2-day here too. In fact, I think that the 2-day is even a little bit more obvious right now. And we do see 2-day Stokes still nice and up and out. I'm actually about to get above the critical zone with MACD turning up alongside a break of structure. That looks nice. Anyways, 3-day moving on to this one as well. We do see, actually, no, we did not close above the topside Toronto band on the last closure. That is a little bit unfortunate. And we actually just got a fresh one yesterday. So this one won't close until tomorrow night. Yeah, tomorrow night it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So that'd be the next thing to be watching. But of course, it's not going to be happening today, so it's not all that relevant towards today's exact price action. But that should be, interpreted in confluence with what we're seeing on momentum oscillators like Stokes right here too, which are, by the way, holding to the bullish control zone. I really like reads like this where you get a quick rejection from a control zone and then come back in and actually stay in there. Usually that is going to be a good signal that you're actually going to stay in there for quite some time. And in this case, that would once again favor the upside alongside 3-day MACD. You can have a chance to cross the upside as well. Now, it will need a little bit more right here. A closure above 21.14 would be necessary in order to turn that momentum back up. And in this case, that would be one yet again, a breakage of structure plus momentum, formations, and trend, all good with each other. What's up, LC? Sir, when you have time oh, okay. All right. When I have time. Got it. Patrick Johnson. No time, sir. Sir, if it's okay with you, I'd like to get through the analysis of coins that, aren't bullshit first. And then we can get over to Bittorrent. No problem for you, man. No problem. Sorry. I'm such a fucking cunt. Oh, that's the bad C word. There's 2 C words that you should not say on YouTube. One of them rhymes with smishmorna virus, and the other one rhymes with munt, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, looking at Should we start off with Bitcoin or not? Let's just go back to Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum's just more interesting right here. Anyways, okay, cool. So let's go back to Ethereum. I'm sure a lot of people are saying, but Ethereum has bearish stuff. No, it doesn't. Stop it. Just fucking stop it. God damn, man. Anyways, yeah, so let's put on our trend lines right here. I mean, still same stuff, basically. Oh, this one has my no, that is 1955. Okay, it just looks a little bit different on a 4. That's all. Anyways, at the end of the day, am I seeing anything different on this chart that I haven't already seen on our secondary charts that we just looked at? Daily, once again, bounced off of the 0 read, so the bullish bias does essentially continue. TSI is kind of losing a little bit of momentum right there. More importantly, though, daily RSI, telling the story right here. Any sort of a consolidation at the bullish control zone, I almost always favor. You know, similar to what we saw back on over here, leading into this small stand. I'd kind of be looking for something similar going on right here. Obviously, this was based off of the hidden bullish divergence to begin with that led into your breakout in late March. But let's see if that's going to be carried on over into the 2-day and 3-day. And yes, indeed, it is actually 2-day RSI, hidden bullish divergence, and up back into the bullish control zone. 3-day even better right there. In fact, so looking at that, I do look at that as more or less likely a continuation signal to the upside. Again, you know, just trend first. And if there's one thing that I can say, because there's a humongous fucking meme going on in this market right now, and it's and perhaps I'm a little bit responsible for that myself. Hopefully I can do a good job of explaining it, but the goddamn pi cycle top indicator, look, it's a very interesting indicator, no doubt about that, and it could be used as a bit of a warning signal, no shit. But it seems like every fucking cycle within Bitcoin, whether it's the upside or the downside, everyone wants that one magical indicator. In 2018 it was the MVT signal. In 2017 it was, I don't know, some sort of like log growth curves or some bullshit like that. And the thing with that is that, look, when you're looking at a more, newer indicator, more importantly, and something that just doesn't have that many iterations, it's not as important as the fucking basics, and it needs to be combined with something else. So look, for all the people who are talking about the goddamn pi cycle indicator incessantly, first off, I want to tear out my goddamn hair. It's already turning gray, so who cares? And more importantly, I need to see that combined with the most fucking important thing ever, and I will certainly not be calling it a top at all whatsoever unless this goddamn happens. I need to see a weekly reversal. It's worked ever since the dawn of time in Bitcoin, and it works pretty much very, very well in most major markets for calling macro reversals. You know, of course, in traditional markets, maybe a monthly is going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit better, because, you know, you do have more history typically speaking, but in crypto land, a weekly is kind of like the gold standard for Bitcoin, and things that have more history than like 5 fucking years, for the love of God. Anyways, looking at this right here for Mr. Bittorrent, again, all higher term timeframes on our primary charts are more or less still signaling continuation. I do see that 3-day TSI is actually going to be hitting the same trend line that's been holding us up since March 2020. In March 2020, let me remind myself, was actually on coronavirus dump times when Ethereum got all the way down a little bit below $100. In fact, a low price of $85. Most importantly, that is very, 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 very perspective inducing now, isn't it? As we've seen more than a 20x since that, which is just fucking super impressive within this market. But at the end of the day, I do still look at this as a consolidation at a high level, or actually this is a consolidation on new all-time highs, basically, which is almost always a good thing. Anyways, so looking at that, yes, I do look for continuation basically on all higher term timeframes here. I'm curious if the weekly has anything of significance as well. If we see hidden bullish divergence on this one, then I'd be extremely looking for new all-time highs, but we actually do not. So in that case, that would be the one thing that perhaps could be looking for a bit of a pullback first, maybe again down to like 1950, but overall, I do still essentially remain bullish for April. And there's this whole new meme in the market with the fucking apes, like you ape into something. What the fuck is that? I don't know. Doesn't matter. More importantly with that, April is fucking April. It is that time. I do think that we are still looking at continuation here. I think it's pretty fucking obvious when you look at the monthly as well. All higher term timeframes are bullish, just lower term timeframes looking for them to kind of get on the same side. I mean, the monthly is just powerful AF right there. Anyways, going down into the lower term timeframes, do we see anything of particular note? I just see a consolidation at a high level right here. I think it's a little bit more easy to kind of judge it on the 4 hour. Again, using yesterday's low as a bit of a continuation point, although still I would like to really operate off closures, 1950 being that critical area for myself. Of course, everyone's free to do whatever the fuck they want to do, but if it does break down, I do see that the 377 on the 4 hour has been holding this baby up for quite some time now, especially in this more aggressive trending formation. Anyways, moving on to Bitcoin, I do want to see if there's anything of particular note on Bitcoin right now. I do think that that today, specifically, it's going to be better to be looking at CMEs, of course. CME is showing a little bit of downside continuation here, maybe back down to about 56,500-ish region, which, seeing that we do about a $300 to $400 premium over spot price action, would put spot somewhere right around like what, 56,000 bucks. Overall, though, I do still like this. Overall, I really have no real reason to be bearish on this, except for maybe a short-term pullback here. And especially if things come back down and fill that gap from, when was it? It was the 26th of March, all the way down at 54,500-ish region. I look at that as a very, very obvious opportunity. Yet again, that would also be another test alongside the 4-hour 200 simple and 200 exponential average. And I would imagine that with Bitcoin, if it does come back down and test the sort of middle of that range, of that more long-term range, then I'd be looking at that as a time really for altcoins to be shining once again. You know, we do see that is going to be continuation on the Bitcoin dominance chart right here, and that is going to make me more or less bullish on basically all altcoin Bitcoin pairings. I mean, there's nothing bearish about this right here. This is clear continuation now. There's no real, what's it called, counter argument to be made. You know, I was looking at it as, you know, as potentially last week is still, you know, potentially putting in a reversal there. Nope, just going to shoot right on down through. And so that is going to lead into continuation for altcoin, very likely uptrends. So I actually would like to look at a lot of altcoin Bitcoin pairings today, mostly because I imagine this is going to be really the time to be giving them a good eye. So this is, again, closing actually on new lows, in fact, or is it closing on new lows? Let's see. We got a 58.06 closing price right there. Let's see what we opened right here. That looks like about the low. Yeah, 58.87. So yeah, we quite literally do have new lows on top of that. You know, there obviously will be ebbs and flows within this, but for now, it seems to me like as long as Bitcoin is consolidating sideways, it is going to be a nice time for altcoin versus Bitcoin parents, as it typically is. Anyways, is there anything else that I want to point out on Bitcoin here? Or I think really just honestly, Ethereum's kind of the one to be watching today. Daily's trying to hold on to the 20 simple right here as far as our troll underband charts go. Now, it's very obvious that we are seeing a consolidation right here as the troll underbands do collapse in on price action, and it's getting pretty damn mature. Yes. However, we do see daily Stokes, technically speaking, crossing down, but I don't really favor anything as far as spot price action goes. We need to go to CME for this, and that's actually still headed up right now. And actually, in fact, it looks like it wants to even break this trend line, or potentially break this trend line as early as today. Yes, and it will break this trend line as early as today, with any sort of a closure basically above 57,500. So I could be looking for a more immediate try to the upside if that condition is met. But for right now, we do see MACD turning back down. We do see a DMI plus signal getting a little bit faded, although it still is dominant there. The ADX not strengthening alongside of it is going to put a little bit of a pause on the immediate bullish case for Bitcoin. Looking at a 12-hour right here, you can actually see that the 55 exponential average has been essentially holding up all of the dump lows on this run, going all the way back quite literally to October 2020 of this year, when Bitcoin was around 11,000 bucks, or just above 11,000 bucks, and all of those tests down have been pretty much amazing buys. Yes, you do get a few wicks below, as you can see over here, but as long as there's no opening closures below, that is more or less good, at least as far as history shows. And guess where the 55 is coming in right now? Literally right smack dab at the fucking low of that, of course, gap on CME that we saw on the 26th of March. So do I think that Bitcoin, you know, could come back down here? Yeah, I do think so, obviously. But at the end of the day, I would be looking at that more importantly as an opportunity here. And again, I think that right now is really the time to be watching a lot of the altcoins. Even though I don't trade them myself, but they're going to really be more indicative of the health and in direction of this market for the time being. Anyways, on a lower term time frames, do we see anything of particular note right now? Yeah, trending below the low side troll underband right here. Not anything too great. Even the DMI minus is actually dominant right now for the first time since quite literally 24th of March. Oh, that actually looks really, really interesting with the ADX strengthening as well. Not, you know, again, not a death sentence, not a death signal. And I do want to point out, you know, long-term, higher term time frames for Bitcoin. I mean, there's nothing bearish about this at all whatsoever. Here's the thing though, remember that play that we had last month in March, where the topside troll band was a nice basing for price action. In fact, that was quite literally your low of the month. I'd probably be looking for something similar to that on this month as well. Currently coming in right around about 51,500, but this being a reactive indicator, depending upon the actual close at the end of the monthly, that can change around significantly. If you remember at the opening of this month, I think it was like 53 or 53,500 area, and so, you know, if Bitcoin even traded up to like 69,000 bucks, for example, which actually I do still think is very likely this month or next month, then you can imagine that the topside trailing band going to be pulled up at the very least $55,000. So at the end of the day, I do think that Bitcoin does have maybe a little bit of short-term downside here. However, I would want to be on record as saying I do believe that that is going to be a major opportunity most likely. I also want to check out the bi-weekly as well, just see if are we closing this one this week? No. Yes, we are actually. Very interesting. Okay, so bi-weekly actually does have a little bit more of something concerning going on right here. However, that is also going to play into the notion that I probably would be looking for continuation first and foremost. Momentum also is bouncing off the critical zone. Yeah, I do like that. And more importantly, if we do see any sort of closure on new highs, I mean, it's just going to be continuation. So it's not really helpful. So I won't really go into depth on that one. But overall, this would be suggesting that, maybe Bitcoin does play a little bit of a short-term pullback today. However, long-term continuation is still the name of the game. And if I am going to err on one side, as always, I want to err on the side of the trend. And so, I wouldn't even necessarily get like super bearish on Bitcoin as it is right now, only if Bitcoin takes out yesterday's low, which again is 56,500. Yeah, 56,500. Then I would be looking for that next move down somewhere around about 54 to 54,500-ish region. And very, 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 very likely a bounce there. And while this is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, you can probably guess what the fuck I'm doing at those price points. So with that said, I think it's going to be same analysis every day, says Amuna. Like, what a fucking dickhead. What a fucking dickhead, man. Like, Jesus Christ, man. I've seen this guy many a time, and it's like, actually, it's not. I mean, we're actually looking at different things, to be honest with you. But you know what? You are entitled to your own opinion, sir. You are entitled to your own opinion. Anyways, LC says, sir, when you have time, MRPH BTC. Okay, MRPH BTC. All right, let's check it out. And we got Morpheus.Network over here against Bitcoin. Don't know what the fuck this thing is, but it looks fine. It looks fine. Again, versus Bitcoin, I'm going to be generally bullish just about on everything. Obviously, your next big breakout area is going to be about 6150-ish region. At that point, I would be targeting massive boosts back up 8,000 plus, 8,500-ish region. Maybe more than that. By the same token, if this thing did come back down somewhere around about 4450-ish region, I would be looking for bounces around there. But this one looks like it's about ready to go right now. I think the weekly does tell a good job of telling the story right here. Again, anywhere around the 10 simple, I'd be looking at that as an opportunity, but general direction is the upside. You did know, oh no, you said short term and weekly. Yeah, so weekly, I'd be bullish. Short term, do we have any sort of analysis to be made on this right now? I mean, technically a little bit of a ascending triangle right here, but I don't trust it on something like this. I trust more momentum oscillators, again, in line with the general trend. And this one, getting all kinds of hidden bullish evidence coming off that low. Yeah, I'm going to favor the short-term upside as well, actually. Anyways, we got Patrick Johnson saying Bittorrent USD daily. Okay, all right, we can do that one. BTT USD. Let's see, what's going to be a good exchange for this one? Maybe Binance. Yeah, probably. Why not Binance? Looking pretty damn good here, man. Everything versus USD probably gonna be having a good day. Or good like last few months, really. 4 hour, no, you did give a time frame. 4 hour is continuation. However, this one is getting a little bit more toppy here, but I do still think that there's a little bit more short-term continuation before that toppiness behavior does happen. I don't see any, I don't see any divergences here on a daily as well. So I'm more inclined to favor the short-term. I'm more inclined to favor both the short-term and long-term upside. I would be looking for pullbacks in between there, but the volume signature is the key narrative in this one. It is continuation volume. This is very clearly getting marked up right now, and I don't really have targets to give on something like this, mostly because this one is in blue sky breakout territory, aka price discovery. And realistically, I wouldn't really be looking for any sort of reversal until at the very least you get some sort of like bearish divergence on a daily, or preferably a daily or 12-hour reversal, as this one doesn't have too much history. So I do think that you could maybe get away with using a 12-hour, kind of front running that a bit. Anyways, I see you, Elizabeth. How you doing? Philson, there he is. Fucking love him, man. In Mr. Tokyo channel, only noobs see dumping. Yeah, I don't really call this a dump. I call this more or less a range. Okay, let's see. Hey, what's up? Fishing with Donnie. Hot BTC, short term, 1 to 4 hour. Appreciate your input. Okay, let's see. HOT BTC. I believe this one was on the top 10 gainers list today. And you're looking for very short term time frames. Again, I'd be favoring short term continuation right here. It looks to me like it just stood in another higher low. And this one actually does look like it has a little bit more, like a good amount more to go. In fact, oscillators right now are actually looking pretty damn healthy for the information that we do have. How much do I trust that on an asset like this? Not a whole hell of a lot, but we can come up with areas of interest to the upside. Looks like 5,500 is going to be a big one for myself, and short term would be 51 51,500 versus 51,500 short term, 55,000 more long term. That's going to be a big one for myself. This is a 4 hour, however, so would I really be judging that on a fucking low time frame like that? Maybe not, but this is just insane right here. Yeah, I probably would be looking for, I'd at the very be looking for, you know, medium term pullbacks based off of 55,000 satoshis if it does get there. And do I think that it could top out, you know, around this region? Yeah, this one's starting to look a lot more toppy actually in comparison to the other ones that we've seen. Hey, what's up, Josh? How you doing, man? Happy Easter to you. And holy shit, man, that is very humbling. Thank you, man. Jesus, man, I'm blushing. Vet USD, Vet BTC, daily Binance. Okay, let's look at Vet BTC first, and then we'll look at Vet USD. I'm gonna imagine that the USD parent is just gonna be pretty damn good. The Bitcoin parent looking good here too. Jumping across, or if you're familiar with Wyckoff, jumping across the creek right here. Obviously getting reaccumulated. Yeah, I'd probably be looking for this one to get the next markup towards 190ish region. This is gonna be more or less good, and again, playing into the narrative that most altcoins gonna be seeing continuation here. Hidden bullish divergence coming off this last low. Yep, I'd be looking for short term back onto the top side of this rally, and very likely continuation long term. Looks good to me, man. As much as I want to hate on this one too, but I can't hate something that looks like this on the daily. Weekly obviously does have major question marks long term, but you know, if you are looking at this on a daily, I would be looking for continuation here. You're also looking at Vet USD as well. Okay, we can definitely do that. On Binance, what do we have here? This one's just general continuation. Obviously, blue sky breakout, consolidated at a high level. I'd be looking for new all-time highs on this one. It's hit all of our upside targets, it looks like, from a fib extension perspective. We can do another one for this formation right here. This is a nice ascending triangle, and that is going to be a reaccumulation at a high level. I'll just briefly do this one. Yeah, I'd actually be looking towards a little bit south of 11 cents, actually. Long term, do I think that it's getting toppy? I mean, this run is pretty fucking crazy right now, no doubt about that. But we still don't even have divergences on even well, I guess this is a weekly. Maybe we shouldn't be using a weekly, maybe a daily, but daily's very obviously continuation here too. Hidden bullish divergence coming off that last low. There's no reason, in my opinion, to even be looking for like a medium term pullback until it takes out 8 spot, like 1 cent region. Then yeah, I'd be looking for greater pullbacks, maybe back down to like 6 cent. But as long as that condition is not met, I'm kind of bullish on all time frames on this one. Birabasur says, at your leisure, sir. Oh, thanks, man. Litecoin, Bitcoin, short-term and weekly. Okay, I think I might have that on my list over here. Maybe I got rid of it. Yeah, no, I still do have it. Okay, very interesting. Okay, short-term and weekly. So short-term to me means 4 hour. And this one looking for a bit of a reversal alongside most altcoins, it looks like. But this one certainly being one of the weaker in the pack, it seems to me. Now, short-term, do I think that it continues the short-term rally? Yeah, I do. Momentum both in the bullish control zone. 4 hour RSI kind of telling a little bit of a short-term reversal situation right here too. And then you're looking at weekly as well. I do want to check out the daily just before that. Again, this one is just such a fucking piece of shit, man. It really is such a piece of shit. But I imagine we probably have some regular bullish divergence come off the low. Yeah, we should between this point and this point. Actually, these are obviously significantly lower lows over here. I'm curious what it's waiting for on that. Maybe my look back. Yeah, my look back period's a little bit too low for this. I bet if I put on a 28, it actually would show. More importantly, if we go to a weekly, as you did ask for, do we see anything of note here? Actually, the weekly's still shitty, man. Short term, I do think that it does play at a little bit more upside on this one. Maybe back up around 36 or what is this, 368,000 satoshis. But the weeklies, I mean, if you're gonna pick one of the altcoins, this is maybe the worst one to pick in my opinion. For all of the altcoins that are looking really, 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 really good right here, this one not joining the general party is never going to be a good sign. Now, of course, in a rotational market, you do expect the junk to rally last, right? Well, this one is definitely a part of the junk, but let's put it in perspective here. Ripple is rallying while this thing is not. Litecoin is pretty much stagnant. Ripple is rallying to 70 cents plus, right? So I think that kind of speaks for itself. So with that in mind, do I think that this one generally joins the rest of the market? It very likely will. It very likely will get some ups here, but I'm not one to fade a downtrend like this. Of course, we have seen several altcoins do something similar to this and then, pop out of nowhere. Does Litecoin do the same thing? Probably yes, but you can see that the people are just looking to fucking sell this thing at any moment. The thing with also the weekly RSI to me is that it does suggest that we probably, I want to see my bullish divergences come in from this region right here, not this region right here. Technically, we would have bullish divergence if this does confirm below, which it is not just yet. To me, this looks like probably another drive to the downside on the weekly. and then tries for an actual low. I mean, this thing is this really is the worst chart of the day thus far. When everything else, even fucking Ripple, is rallying, and this thing's not, that's just not a good sign. The monthly looks absolutely atrocious as well. This quite literally is maybe the worst chart I've seen in a while now. Very, 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 very bad. It would take a crypto miracle in order to get this one rallying alongside the rest of the market. I mean, everything's fucking rallying right now, man. So if your pet shitcoin is not rallying, it's not a good sign. It's really not a good sign. And I'm not saying this to like pick on you or anything like that, but as far as the chart goes, this is just an awful chart. You know, it's I mean, just by having fucking crypto in your name, you pretty much get a free ride to rally within this market. Does this one join the rest of the market? Maybe at some point, man. But as long as it's below the daily 200, which is 400,000 satoshis, I have no real reason to even be looking for a long-term reversal. Not necessarily saying that I'd want to short something like this. I don't think that it's very wise to short anything in the crypto market, especially when Bitcoin's, you know, in like a macro uptrend. But this one is pretty fucking bad, man. I think that says a lot about it. So again, not talking shit about you, sir, but about this chart, absolute fucking garbage. This one is a dumpster fire of just shit. Ronald Jessup says, will you have a look at Tesla, your choice of time frame? I can, man, but it hasn't traded in a few days here, so I'm not sure if you expect me to say anything different about it. Based off of what we saw on NASDAQ, off of what we saw in SPY, based off of what we saw in all the major indices, I am going to favor short-term upside, at least on this one. This one does look more toppy than the rest of the market, but okay, your choice of time frame. Well, that can go all kinds of different ways, man. We do have some bullish evidence come off this low. I would say that the easy portion of that move's already played out. That was your 600 all the way to almost $700 move. Here's the thing. This one does have declining highs as long as you're below 712. So I would, technically speaking, the rest of the market, it's kind of like the crypto market right now. You know, you kind of have to favor, you kind of want to err on the side of the upside just because that is where most things are coming in from. But in this case right here, I do think that it'd be worth waiting for at least this level to get taken out, about 710, that is. And if that does get taken out, I would be bullish for another $100 move, essentially to $800, and probably follows the rest of the market. With that said, if I'm looking at it purely on the weekly, I would actually be looking for this one to come back down to about $500. So yes, I do think that just because the rest of the market is more or less looking for continuation to the upside here, this one probably gets pulled up with it. But until it takes out 710, I would not join the Bula side. I'd actually be looking for a move back down to 600. Not that I'd actually trade for that, but I do think that it is worth mentioning. Again, I like to err on the side of the actual trend. In this case, this one's showing a little bit of weakness, but you never know when fucking Elon's going to post another tweet, because he does know what he's doing. He's a very smart guy. He's very respectable. But when it comes to actual, like, you know, stocks and whatnot, he has been known to be a little bit of a fuck, we'll say. A little bit of a fuck. Anyways, Hambone Crypto says, morning, can you check out FTM BTC on KuCoin? Sure, man. Looking for an entry. Well, I probably won't make the trade for you, but I can give you my opinion on it. KTM BT, or FTM, sorry, FTM BTC. Is this Phantom? Is this thing is still around? FTM BTC. It is Phantom. Holy shit. Phantom, no, I'm thinking of Factum. Is Factum still around, that bullshit cryptocurrency that was like tracking facts on the blockchain from 2017? Such fucking silliness. Anyways, what is this one looking like? This one looks like it really topped out. This is what it looks like to me, man. Again, most things in this in this market are going to rally versus Bitcoin. This one, I do think you actually got a little bit of short-term downside here. Maybe back down to 630, 640-ish region Satoshis. But do I think that it pulls through overall? Yeah, I do think that it pulls through overall, actually, just because most of the altcoin market is going to be getting some nice markup here. And we do see that the daily TSI actually is okay. Here's what I'd be going off of right now. Daily TSI, if you do see a cross to the downside right here, I would look for a full collapse of this rally back down to 430, 420 Satoshis. Great number right there. And that is going to happen with any sort of a closure below, what is this, 695? Hey, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so yeah, 695. So basically our last local low right here. If that does happen, then yeah, I'd get very, very bearish on this one. But again, I do think that I really want to see proof, not promises, in order to look for that move, because it's not wise to go against the general market trend right here. But if that does happen, yes, I would be looking, I'd actually be targeting a move all the way down to 400 or 420-ish region, somewhere around there. Until then, I'd probably be sideways is going to be more or less considered healthy, and probably does look for another move back up towards 1,000 Satoshis plus. But this one, if any of the ones does look pretty fucking toppy right here. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, people are really selling this one aggressively over the last few weeks. So I'd give it some time to go sideways, and if it can hold sideways within that range without actually getting that bearish cross, I would be looking for it to essentially pull through with the rest of the market. But until that happens, I do think it's more or less risky. Crypto says we may have hit the top this cycle. He showed an indicator this weekend showing we may have topped out. Well, Crypto is always right now, isn't he? Austin True says, could you look at SCPTC? Siacoin, holy shit, man. All the fucking 2017 shitcoins getting their day in the sun now too. And I do remember that one was on the greatest gainers of the greatest gainers of the last 24 hours. And look at this. We actually do have a weekly reversal right here. I would be looking for weekly continuation, probably up to 70 cents. You did not give a time frame though, so I don't really know where to go with this one, to be honest with you. Daily's looking like a nice stair step up. Golden cross happened a couple weeks ago, looks like. So I would still favor the general upside here, but I don't know what time frame you're going off of. Short-term time frames actually looks like continuation as well. Also continuation volume right here. Yeah, I favor the upside on this one. And this is kind of what, maybe Litecoin, Bitcoin does some similar to this, like just pumps out of nowhere because market, basically, not because it's like anything great. Similar to this thing, this is long-term absolute garbage, absolute shit, no doubt about that. But, short term, does it continue the rally? Probably yes. Although I would keep a keen eye on about 70 Satoshis. That's going to be a very big level for this one long term. All right, what's up, Mr. Pasek? How you doing, man? Good morning. Please check CRO USD. Okay, this is crypto.com, I believe. This is the the Hungarian forint. Nice one, man. I lived in Budapest. I don't know, like Jesus Christ, it was a long time ago now. Probably like 2014, 2015. And we used the forint, and it always made me feel like super fucking rich because it's like monopoly money out there. It's like 6,000 forint for $20. And at that time, I was I was just average. Anyways, let's see. Okay, cool. So Bittrex, I guess we go to Bittrex on this one. Okay, do we need to go to Bittrex on this one? I mean, breaking above prior all-time highs, I'm never going to be bearish on something like that, but I suspect that we probably don't have the full history for this. I do respect the trend right here, and I do like the 21 as a nice basing formation. Here's the thing, though. As long as you're above that region, that is your last local low. That is your last higher low. So I remain bullish basically on all time frames, or higher term time frames, essentially. As long as it's above this level right here, targeting to move back up to about a quarter, and then probably continuation to, let's see, it's probably going to be like 30 plus cents above that region. I mean, this is essentially a reaccumulation at a very high level. But again, here's the thing, man. When you look at something like this, the key is in the volume. This is garbage. This is absolute fucking garbage. You can see that there's like clear, and I'll use the very, very bad, very, very naughty M word right here, but manipulation. This is why crypto is a joke, because you see shit like this going on. What does shit like this essentially imply? It implies that the fucking crypto did some sort of a deal with the exchange. And I actually happen to know from one of my friends who used to be, well, maybe I shouldn't say too much. But I do happen to know from one of my friends, allegedly, that with a lot of these liquidity providers for these shitcoin exchanges, Bittrex kind of falls in that same category. They have been known to offer up contracts to their liquidity providers to essentially paint price action, and this is just fucking obvious right here. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, it does nothing for half a year, then all of a sudden out of nowhere, holy shit, everyone's interested, and then nothing. This is just garbage bullshit. But yeah, I actually would favor the upside here. Again, as long as it holds the last higher low, this is a nice little uptrend. And again, anything within the crypto market, just by having crypto in their name, especially crypto.com, probably going to be a beneficiary of that. But here's also another great insight. Bittrex, OKX, KuCoin, Huobi, HitBTC. These are all like the lowest of the fucking low. Save maybe Bittrex because it is somewhat regulated now, but OKX known for their wash trading, KuCoin just garbage, Huobi wash trading and garbage, and HitBTC is like all of that plus like maybe even I've heard stories of like people actually getting their shit I shouldn't say scam because I don't know. I can't confirm that. I can't confirm like people's actual stories, but allegedly, yeah. Anyways, Vincent Kansari says, can you look into Link, eyeing an entry? You didn't give a base pair, didn't give a time frame. It's like, I want buy or sell, no time frame, no preferences, no even baseline pair. So I'll look at it versus US dollar here. Actually, last I looked at it, I think it was looking okay. So let's see. Again, consolidation at a high level right here. You can call this formation all sorts of different things, whether it's sunny triangle, whether it's a W, whether it's a whatever the fuck. Hey, guess what? You got higher lows, and it's consolidation literally on new all-time highs. Yeah, I'm always going to be bullish on something like that. Weekly tells a story right here too. I'd actually be looking for a move, probably medium term, to about $34, and probably new all-time highs, man. Let's see. Do I already have this one charted out? Kind of, not really. Let's see. We can just do a quick extension on this one. $44 would be my target on a breakout medium term, and $50 would be my target on a long term. Probably tops out at $50, at least for a medium term reversal, maybe long term reversal as well. But I do favor the upside. This one looks pretty fucking good here. I've no reason to be bearish on that one. Let's see. Oh wait, I just missed it. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? There it is. Kevin fucking one. How you doing, man? Good morning to you, sir. KSM UCT KuCoin daily. Okay, KSM USD. You want to go on KuCoin for whatever bullshit reason? Okay, sure. All right, it's your day, sir. What Kevin fucking one wants, Kevin fucking one gets. What do we have here? We have an uptrend, actually. We have a very nice uptrend, in fact. Do we have any sort of divergences to be aware of? Actually, no. In fact, on the other side, we potentially even have hidden bullish divergence building up with the confirmed local low right here. I'd be using the 21 on the daily to kind of judge this one. Okay, yeah, you did. Oh, nice. You're actually looking at the exact same thing. You said daily 21 moving average looks like a good spot to bounce. Okay, so do I like it as a low? I think that is very potentially a major low right here. Yes, absolutely. But that just gives you a nice edge to kind of manage a trade on. So of course, this is not financial advice, but going over a little bit of like actual strategy here. Look, it's not guaranteed that this is going to actually fucking work out, but it gives you something to measure against, and more importantly, a way to standardize a trade, aka risk management. As long as you're above the 21, guess what? You got higher lows and potential hidden bullish divergences building up over here too. That's excellent on extremely low HVP. That's typically going to be a good sign of consolidation. And in this case, your consolidation would be in the same direction as the general trend, or sorry, it would have the bias of the general trend here, which is very much the upside. Yeah, I'd favor the upside in that case. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Weekly looks okay. I'm sure people are going to call this spinning top. No, that shit doesn't work in crypto. It barely even works in Forex, which is where it actually like somewhat works. On the 4 hour, however, you can see a clear, well, you can basically see where the 21 would be. It's like 438 region. If it does break that region, I would look for a quick markdown to about 380. So this one will move fast, and if it does reverse, it will fucking fly. But that would become my conditions for that one, and that is, well, that would, actually, I'm just curious, like how big of a percentage move would that be? Like what, 15? Yeah, about 15.5%. On that move. What's up, Shibley? Good morning. Good morning, Krown. I put my mother's life savings into Hot. Nice. Do you love her or hate her though? How much leverage do you recommend? Just kidding. Thank you for all the value you provide. Hey man, my pleasure. I'm not sure if that's like an actual request, but we can look at it. I think we looked at it earlier. I'll look at it versus Bitcoin this time too. Yeah, continuation here. I'm still, yeah, into the 50,000 or yeah, into the 50,000 Satoshi region is where I'd be looking towards. Looks like short-term continuation on the 4 hour. Mr. Henderson, anchor BTC 4 hour daily, please, sir. Sure, man. ANKR BTC. We'll go Binance, and we'll go 4 hour daily. 4 hour consolidated at a high level using the 55 as a nice little basing point. I'm going to guess that the daily is running right around the 10 simple. And if I am going to be basing some off of this, I'll just be using this structure right here. Pretty damn simple stuff, right around 255, we'll call it. As long as it's closing above there, I'm more or less bullish on this one, looking for this to get reaccumulated within this region with a breakout right above 305 or so. Looking at a daily, it doesn't look as good on a daily, to be honest with you. It looks a lot more ridiculous on a daily. But this whole market's ridiculous right now, to be fair. So, if this one does want to play out some downside, however, if it does break this level, again, 255, we'll call it, I'd be looking for a big move down to the 21 at 225 region. So that would be, I don't know, definitely in the teens as far as percent moves. But, as always, I got to favor the trend, at least for now. If this area does break, I would look for a big downside move. But until that is met, I generally just be with the market here and probably favor the upside. Hey, my pleasure, Mr. Dude Daddy. How you doing, man? Good morning to you. Josh says this one is just supporting. Hey, man, goddamn, Josh, you are much too you are much too generous, man. I do appreciate that. I always want to remind people, hey, do not feel obligated to donate, man. It's all good. It's all fucking good. It just helps with like prioritizing comments and whatnot, because, well, then it puts it like right in front of my face, and sometimes the comments move a little bit too fast. But today is a rather slow day, so it's actually a little more manageable today. Austrian True says, could you look at SEBTC? Sure, man. Well, we already looked at it, but I think we looked at it maybe versus USD. So we could look at it versus Bitcoin, shitcoin. And I would be looking for continuation here. 4 hour is continuation. Daily is continuation. Weekly is pumping out of nowhere. Yeah, I'd still remain with like a general target towards 70-ish Satoshis and probably be looking for a reversal somewhere around there, at least on medium-term timeframes. What's up, Manuel? Manuel says, hi, Bows. First, have an AQ, have a nice week. Thanks, man. You too. Please, BQX BTC. Sure, man. Okay, BQX BTC. Voyager Bitcoin. Okay, is this the fucking Superman coin from like Ethos? It is. From like ages ago. Is he still around? I think he's doing like TikTok now, but I saw him doing a crypto video like not so long ago. Hopefully he comes back, man. That'd be a great signal. Him and Coin Mastery, got to get both those guys back in the game. Okay, please, Binance Daily looking to get back in when trend change. You think this is happening? No, this is long term, just an absolute piece of shit. Sorry to kind of shit on the party there, man. Short term, do I think that it? Short term, you might see a bit of an ebb and flow here. You might see another rally back up to like 11,000 Satoshis. But this is garbage right here, man. You don't need to trade this thing. You don't need to trade this thing. This is very bad. This is very fucking bad. I wouldn't even be surprised to see this work out as your next macro lower high. In fact, this is garbage. Absolute fucking garbage, man. Short term though, do I think that it tries to rally a little bit more? Maybe back up to 9,000 Satoshis, but to put it bluntly, there's zero reason at least in my eyes, to be in any way, shape, or form looking for upside continuation, especially as long as this thing's below 11,000 Satoshis. As long as it's below there, I'm not. I don't even consider this. I don't even consider this thing fucking worthwhile. How about that? Yeah. Sorry, man. I don't mean to shit on your on your BQX, but again, I'm talking specifically about charts here, not about you as a person. As a person, you're probably great. You're probably fine. As a chart, garbage, fucking bullshit, dumpster fire, man. Absolute dumpster fire. How to control. Jack Simon says XRP, USD, and BTC. Man, I'm surprised that it took this long to get XRP. I like to do just one though, if that's cool with you, just because there are a lot of people here right now. And we do want to be respectful of everyone's time, of course. We can look at. Oh, you didn't give no time frames given. Weekly's clear breakout. I still stick with my probably even $1 target of XRP. 90 cents is going to be the next major target. This is obvious continuation right here. Weekly has a golden cross playing out. This is great consolidation on a weekly reversal plus continuation plus weekly TSI turning back up again in the bullish zone. That's all on the weekly. So that's all very, 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 very powerful stuff. Daily hitting a little bit of short-term resistance here. I would look for another continuation drive anywhere above the 1st of February high, which was 75.47 cent. Anywhere above there, I'd look for general continuation to about 90 cents. Again, this is not a comment on Ripple's technology. This is not a comment on whether I think Ripple is legit or not. This is purely a comment on the actual chart itself, and this is, as we've been saying for the last month and a half now, this is very likely to move to the upside. Again, everything in this market does get to rally right now. If you're in the crypto market, you get a free ticket to a fucking rally, and in this case, I'd still be looking at 90 cents medium term and probably $1.06, $1.09 long term. So fair enough. Style Exterior says, bruh, could we look at Bitcoin USD on a weekly on Bitstamp? Sure. You're looking at MACD specifically. Okay. All right. We can look at that. Let's see what you're seeing. So you're looking about your MACD cross down, and it appears to be a well, actually, no, I don't see the same thing, man. Weekly MACD is not crossing down, actually. In fact, it's just kind of loosening its momentum right now. But what I look at is actually Stokes in this in this particular instance, as you can see that this is essentially a continuation of trend right here. And I really wouldn't be looking for the weekly MACD to actually get this one properly. It's probably going to be a bit of a late signal here. Now, of course, in hindsight, it's probably going to look like it may in hindsight, it's going to be judging like a very long-term sort of move, but it's actually the short term that I'd be favoring right now, based off of this essentially range at the high. But to even just push back on what you're saying, the MACD is not crossed down. Maybe you're looking at a different time frame, probably a daily, if I had to guess. Yeah, the daily's crossed down, yes, but the daily is here's the thing. People get the MACD all the time wrong. Let me explain the MACD for a second here, and this is going to save you a lot of pain. First off, don't fucking look at any oscillators over a weekend or on Monday. They're almost always going to lie on spot price action. Look at CME, and CME actually is, well, it's doing the same thing, to be fair. So they are kind of in confluence with each other. But more importantly with this, if you are going to see a downside MACD cross, for example, especially when it's against the trend, that cannot be taken, in my experience, as a signal in and of itself. It needs to be combined with a breakage of some sort of structure. And in this case, the 20 simple is your structure. Pretty damn simple right there. It's quite literally right in the middle of this range, between about 62,000 to the upside and about 50,000 to the downside right now. And if it does break below this level, plus MACD crossing down, yes, then you got a trade, then you got a problem, and very likely does gun towards, as we were saying earlier, probably around 54 to 54,500 region, maybe even a little bit lower than that. But until that happens, I don't look at MACD as likely to get something like that. Again, if you're gonna err on one side, in my experience, you want to err on the side of the trend here, especially when it comes to momentum oscillators. Look, if you want to increase your fucking hit rate, if I could give the easiest tip out to anyone who has like a modicum of experience out there with technical analysis and trading, it would be this. If you're going to use an oscillator, or if you're going to use any sort of a fucking signal giver, just any sort of an indicator, basically, only take the signals that are on the same side as the fucking trend. And the more time frames that it actually lines up with, the better. And that's going to increase your hit rate significantly. And in this case, I don't see a reason to really be front running a signal like that, or even interpreting a signal like that in its current posturing. And again, when it's massively against the general market, I need to see it actually break some sort of structure there at the very least. And even then, I mean, that's about a $2,000 trade. $2,000 trade, decent, but you can see that it's more or less chopping around right now. So it's a consolidation first and foremost. So I don't even look for something like a MACD to even even get like a proper signal to begin with. Okay, cool. There's a multi-year trend line that is holding, that's called cycle tops. Would love your 3 cents on this. Okay, so now you're talking about two different things, but you're talking about a weekly MACD on Bitstamp. Again, weekly MACD, I'm not sure that I see a trend line here. I'm all for trend lines, man, but I think we're seeing a little bit of Jesus toast here, to be honest with you. MACD cross down, it appears there's a multi-year trend line that is holding, that's called cycles tops. I don't see anything of the sort. You'd have to show me what you're seeing, man, because at the outset, I have to respectfully disagree. I straight up just don't even see the same things right now. So perhaps we're talking past each other. Fishing with Johnny says Mana BTC 4 hour. Okay, let's see. Symbol MANA. BTC, okay, 4 hour and long term. What does long term do you mean? Binance, weekly could be long term. Weekly looks like it might have had a bit of a toppy top right there. Let's see what the daily looks like. Consolidating a high level again. You kind of have to favor the trend here. Or let's actually go to this chart. I think it'd be just easier to see. Mana BTC, okay. Binance. Let's do like a 4 hour first and see what this one's looking like. Okay, here's what I can say about this one. I would tentatively favor the upside as long as it holds above 1550 region. As long as it holds above there, I don't really have any real reason to get bearish on it. Yes, there are some warning signals. Yes, I generally think that this thing is like really fucking overdone, but again, if you're going to err on the side of the fucking trend here. And I wouldn't be calling even a medium-term reversal until this area is taken out. Now, if this area is taken out, again, 1550, I'd look for big, bad moves to the downside. I'm talking about like back down to 1100 region. But until that happens, I'd be looking for sideways. Sideways is going to be interpreted as more or less good within this one. And probably does get another try to the upside, to be honest with you. Again, most things in this market get a free ticket to rally right now. Just by being in the crypto market, you're going to get a free ticket to rally. At least for the time being, not for forever. Ian Terry, where do I see you? How goes the Krown? Has there been any discussion on CKB against Bitcoin or USD? No, I don't even know this ticker actually. CKB, BTC, looks like it's not even on TradingView actually. So unfortunately, we can't look at it, man. Okay. Let's see, what else did I miss over here? Dan Ham says Ren BTC daily, weekly. Okay. All right. Ren BTC was another popular one in 2018, I remember. I remember Devos used to love this one. I don't know why, but oh, Jesus Christ, man. It isn't a weekly uptrend, to be fair, though. So at least got that going for it. You said daily, weekly. Okay, gotcha. Again, generally speaking, long-term, I'd favor the upside here. We do see a similar sort of likely fake out signal that I think you're going to get, similar to what we saw in maybe like Mr. Bittorrent, I think it was last week, something like that, where you kind of hint at a death cross on, a respectful time frame and then just run it the other way. And I'd say any sort of a closure, like any sort of a closure at all, especially above the 55 on the daily, which is 1930 region right now. I look for this one to essentially pop back up around the prior highs on this run and probably continues long term. I mean, this is a weekly uptrend after all. By the same token, if you actually do get the death cross, between the 55 and the 200 right there, I would target a move back down to the Siacoin 89 on the weekly at 1450ish region. But do I think that's going to happen here? Probably not. No, I think this one pulls up to the upside again, in line with what we see on Bitcoin dominance chart. Okay, AJ Gianni says, treat yourself with a protein bar. Fuck yeah, man. I love protein bars. I've never met a protein bar that I don't like. Problem is, I'm on like an extremely restricted diet right now, and I have been for actually like a year or two now, where I only eat meat, and anytime that I deviate from that, it just, bathroom's gonna be fucked up for days. Cheers to gains. Thanks a lot for all the learning. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Very much appreciate that. Let's see. Mr. Potsex says, thanks for your long and interesting answer. No problem, man. Always learning new things. God bless you. God bless you too, sir. Happy Easter, sir. Happy Easter indeed. All right, let's see what else we got here. Hey, what's up, Trading Network? There he is. Holy shit, man. Guys, by the way, the Trading Network, aka Mr. Z Felds, going to be uploading that interview on my Wednesday night. I guess it would be Tuesday night leading into Wednesday morning. So it'll be tomorrow night. Yeah, tomorrow night. To keep an eye out for that one. He has such a fucking great story, and he's also got his own thing going on too. Definitely check him out. His channel is right there, the Trading Network. He does traditional market analysis, and just all around good guy, man. I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy his story and sort of what it looks like, for someone who actually trades for a living, and how that whole process goes. Really, really interesting chat, and probably going to be having him on again. In fact, a lot of these guys I'm going to have on again. It's like really good. Winning Choice 87 says, hi Krown, would you mind having a quick look at Cardano USD 4-hour daily? Yeah, sure. All right, Cardano hasn't been called out today, but that one I imagine is kind of like in the better, it's in the terms of rotations, because it kind of went first. It probably has taken a little bit of a sideways breather right now, similar to Bitcoin. Oh, what do you fucking know? Doing the same goddamn thing right here now, isn't it? Yeah. So overall, range between the 55 at 106 on USD versus 136 the upside. Do I favor the upside here? Alongside basically everything else? Yes, I do. Looking at the weekly. Any sort of a test down to the 10 simple here, which is 109. Yeah, 108.5 to 109. I look at it as an opportunity. I look at the 15th of March low or the 15th of March open, depending upon closure or just wick. Again, the low is obviously going to be a wick. The closure is going to obviously be the open. Then I would be looking for an actual reversal here. I don't think that that's what's happening though. I do think that long term this one is continuing to the upside. It's got a nice little healthy consolidation here. Not super obvious, but you can essentially, if I put on my trend lines right here, yeah, we already got charted out. Nice one. I still would very likely be favoring some more upside here. Any sort of a closure above like 133, 134 region on a daily, and I'd be targeting actually big moves up to, what would this be? Actually like $2, believe it or not. Again, nice higher low structure. Momentum oscillators are more or less muted right here. Now it should be, I think I should call this out. We actually do have a jewel sell signal, which I don't like, but I don't know. Can I pull off one more win against a jewel? It's usually a losing bet. It's not been very profitable for me in the long term, but I think I fought off the 3-day jewel sell signal, kind of. just a small $5,000 dump, but structure did not change, so it's all good. Usually you're going to look at something like that as a reversal, but in this case, no, man. I very likely favor the trend here. I'd err on the side of bullishness again, as long as 105, 106 is held up, or as long as it just does not trade below whatever the Swick low right here was, 95 cents. Yeah, to me, this one's very obviously gonna, I shouldn't say very obviously, very likely, yes. You see this all the fucking time. You get a breakout, big bad breakout, key is in the volume right here, and then what happens? You come back down and retest your prior all-time high on a closing basis. Fucking classic. Bitcoin did it right here, right around $20,000 on this little started stuff right here. Ethereum's doing it like quite literally right now. Well, not on that chart because it doesn't have the history, but right around here, you saw this before the next sort of up phase I'd be looking for the same thing on Cardano, and it is really operating as one of the more healthy and strong ones actually too, which deserves some love actually. Anyways, okay, we got Mamba for life. How you doing, man? Have you looked at XRP? Yeah, we have looked at XRP, but we can look at it versus Bitcoin if you like. We already looked at it versus US dollar. Versus Bitcoin, it does look like it might be in this in the beginning of a bit of a reversal right there. Again, I don't feel as confident on Bitcoin Bitcoin parent as I do on US dollar. This is kind of like your generational low essentially at about 550 Satoshis, rounding off that area again. Here's the thing though, versus Bitcoin, this is an obvious pump and dump chart. I mean, make no mistake about it. Versus Bitcoin, this is the definition of a pump and dump. Anytime that you pump, it almost immediately gets spit back on out, and in a lot of cases even goes lower, like you see right here, like you see like significantly right here, and like you see right here. That's never going to be a good thing. So at the end of the day, do I think that this one's going to like actually reverse versus Bitcoin? No. Do I think that it probably has some short-term upside? Yeah, very likely. But the US dollar, versus US dollar, it's a lot easier to read in my opinion. New 510, how you doing, man? Krown, bro, beer looking great. Thanks, man. I grew it all by myself. Keep up the good work, you. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Crypto Angler says, sup, bro? Man, it's been a long time. Holy shit. Not a pattern fan. Just curious on your thoughts of a possible head and shoulders on CME's 3-day. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can see what you're seeing. So you're looking at a potential head and shoulders on 3-day CME for Bitcoin. I don't even remotely see it, man. This would be some really fucked up Quasimodo, like inverted, like upside down Notre Dame humpback. No, I'm sorry, man. I don't see it. Maybe if I really squint my eyes and look at it sideways. No, man. I don't see anything even remotely resembling a head and shoulders right here, but a very easy way to just completely negate this is first trend. Second is when you're looking at a head and shoulders, it's not like a head and shoulders is not like a done and hard fast rule just because, oh, head and shoulders down. No, there's an actual like interpretation to these things as with most patterns. And this one does technically work out. It's a loss of momentum is what it is. And how do you get a loss of momentum? Well, you're in your uptrend, boom, boom, boom. Typically get some sort of divergence on your second high in relation to your left shoulder, so that'd be your head in relation to your left shoulder, and then your right shoulder has to be always 100% of the time, if you're looking at head and shoulders, has to be 100% of the time, again 100% of the goddamn time, needs to be lower than your head. The right shoulder must be lower than the head, and typically going to be lower than the left hand shoulder as well. In fact, that is one of the rules that I have for those ones too. So I'd have to respectfully disagree with that, man. Let's see. Okay, Jay Suave says, can you look at EOS USD 4-hour daily? Sure, man. Okay, symbol EOS USD. Yeah, another darling of 2018, but quickly became irrelevant in the crypto sphere. But this one's turning the corner now, similar to Ripple. This one's looking a little bit better than Ripple, I'd say. Short term, or maybe not short term, as we are looking at a 3-day, but medium term, I would be looking for a markup to about 7.25. You can see clear accumulation going on in this region. Again, everything in this crypto market does get a free pass to rally, and this one being no different. In fact, to be fair, long term, this one does have a better chart than most shitcoins, and the weekly is very obviously a continuation here. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing not just hit 7.25, but more likely like 777 actually. Where's 777, man? 777. This is 777's target right here. Long term, does it even take out that level? Probably yes. Most things in this market will actually sustain these reversals. It looks like, at least for the time being, like maybe for the next couple months to come. Weekly Jewel is a continuation haughtier long signal. In fact, you might even look at this as a buy signal in and of itself too. And all oscillators point northwards on the weekly. Daily is looking good to me as well. I know you didn't ask for it, but ultimately, yeah, I do think very likely somewhere around $8, a little bit below $8, probably plays out a medium term pullback from there, and then we'll judge it after that. Okay, cool. Fishing with Donnie says Sol versus Ethereum. All right. Getting into the weeds right now, man. All right, Solana, Ethereum, Huobi, and OKX. That tells you everything you need to fucking know right there, man. Continuation, though, it is looking good. I would still be looking for new highs on this one, actually. Very clear and obvious reaccumulation right here between about 11 and 7.6. I would be having more long-term targets somewhere around. Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't even read that. God damn it, my eyes are getting absolutely wrecked. Shouldn't be staring at these fucking. It's all the porny computer screens, man. just absolutely wrecking my eyes. What is this? 0.015 to 0.016 where I'd be looking towards. Probably does try to put in a high somewhere around there, but that would imply continuation from this region. And to be fair, versus Ethereum, very good chart for the history that we do have, which is not much, which is fuck all actually. Anyways, Ben says, can you take a peek at Filecoin versus USD on the 4-hour? Okay, symbol FIL, I believe, versus USD. I'll start to wrap it up after this too, man. We've already been here for an hour and 20, and my voice is starting to get absolutely wrecked. All right, Filecoin, what do we see? Just general uptrend, man. I don't have anything to say about this. I know you didn't ask about a weekly, but weekly does suggest more upside. Again, I know you didn't ask about that. Daily, pretty much saying the same thing here too. What does a 4-hour say? However, 4 hours going into a bit of a sideways consolidation. Wouldn't be surprised to see it have a little bit of a short-term downside move somewhere around the 55, like 160 to 155 region, and then try to the upside. Again, all higher-term timeframes are bullish on this one. Short-term timeframes, yeah, do have a little bit of downside here though. All right. Last one. ZB Tequa says, can you look at Algo USD on the daily? Sure, ma'am. Let's see. Symbol ALGO USD. On the daily specifically. Okay, we'll go to Binance for this one. Daily, what are we looking like? Looks pretty good here. Consolidated at a high level, nice higher low structure. All momentum also is pointing northwards, except for daily RSI, but that's okay. We'll just pretend that one didn't happen. But the weekly's the key in this one, man. I know you didn't ask about a weekly, but this one is very, 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 very likely to give another move to the upside. Any sort of a closure above 146, 147, I'd be looking for this one to pop back up. Probably to like $3 actually, probably the per time high. This one's clearly seen some accumulation right here and now getting marked up after this reaccumulation. This is traditionally a very, very strong signal actually. Jode Babcock says, can you thoughts on B Pro USD? Oh, good morning, Mrs. No Shirt. Bring those little titties over here. And by little, I mean big. Hey, let me see them. Let me see them. You put those things away, miss. Disgusting. I'm gay for TA and she's bringing those massive titties around me. Ban them. Fucking ban them. All right. Ocean USD daily, weekly, your choice of exchange. Again, within the context of the general market, I am going to favor the upside here. But this one, do I think that we have maybe a short-term downside to like 130? Maybe, yeah. Based off the weekly, I'd say that that's going to be an obvious opportunity. Looking at the daily, though, this thing looks like it's actually ready from its current posturing. Nice little uptrend coming in from this last higher low at about 120, 122 region. As long as it's above there, I've zero reason to be bearish on this one. Generally just favoring the upside here. Technically speaking, we do have a bit of a jewel sell signal potentially going on, but I don't think that one plays, or at least I do think that it gets another upside try before it actually does try to play. Again, I really don't like these signals that come in on a Monday. They just don't see, or over the weekend and continuation on a Monday, usually doesn't play out. Weekly looks good to me. Yeah, I'd be favoring general continuation here, probably like 170-ish region. Again, no reason in my opinion to be looking bearish on this one as long as it's above 120. Now, if it does break 120, I'd be looking for big moves to the downside. I'm talking about like back down to 80 cents region, but one thing before the next. Anyways, okay, last one. The last one. Winning Choice 87 says, thanks for the Cardano input. Thanks, man. Here's another $10 to bump you from the $4.99 protein bar. You got, oh, baby. It's time for some organic ground beef. Finally, I can eat again. Beautiful, man. Major thank you for that, man. Major thank you for that. It's been an absolute pleasure. Jack Frost, how you doing, man? He's got a nice LOL. And there it is, Ian Terry. Okay, CKB USD. Looked at, okay, CKB. CKB, whoops, let's see, USD. All right, so this is going to be the last of the last of the last of the last of the last. I'm pretty sure we did do B Pro, but I'll look at it in a second again. I'm almost positive we did do B Pro though. Anyways, CKB, does it have a blow off top going on right here? I mean, it did a little bit right there, but again, man, you got to be looking at the general market right here. We don't have a whole hell of a lot of history on this one, but the history that we do have is generally good. Short term, yes, downside. I'd be looking for to probably try another low somewhere around about 3 cents region, and then probably does, and then probably does try another move to the upside. But for now, short term downside, yes. And then I kind of favor the rest of the market. All right, we'll look at B Pro again, but I'm pretty sure we looked at this one. What was it? B Pro USD. But this got to be the last one, man. My voice is like actually starting to turn into raspy lesbian voice, and it's starting to actually hurt. Let's see. Actually favor a little bit of downside here, man. Well, then I look at the weekly and it's like, look, man, the problem with something like this is you only got, well, you actually do have about a year of history. When you just kind of pump out of nowhere like this on volume, yeah, it is a change of behavior. Yeah, you generally would be looking for continuation, but long term, is this thing legitimate or garbage? It's probably garbage long term. Short term, does it have a little bit of downside here? Is it trying to hold into 21? That's the real question. I do think, okay, this one's actually a pretty easy one to trade. In fact, the reason why I say that is because you got a natural risk management point on last week low. That is 0.1869. As long as you're above there, I suppose I would favor the upside. This one's obviously seen a really fucking nice move thus far, so I would kind of be a little bit more careful with this one. And it's right fucking there right now. So tentatively speaking, I would favor the upside. That would be my general rule, personally speaking. You don't have to follow that same rule. By the same token, do I think that there's like significant signs for caution here? Yeah, absolutely. Daily Jewel is a continuation halt of your short signal after actually getting the top right here. It looks like, yeah, I did get the top right there. Very nice one. And so technically speaking, you know, I would use that as a nice risk management point and target a move all the way down somewhere around about 0.012 region if that condition is met, and it's very, very close there. But until that is met, I suppose I would be somewhat looking for some sideways and up action. I don't feel too compelled by that, to be honest with you, though. But that is a personal rule for myself. So tentatively speaking, I would be bullish. If it takes out last week low, which is pretty much right fucking there, I would not immediately, but I'd look for a general move back down to like 0.012 region. New 510 has given us our blessings. Krown bro, Bishop, fucking finally, baby, fucking finally. Okay, cool. So let's go back on over here. Let's wrap this bitch up for Mr. Bishop. Love it. All right. So first and foremost, I think it'd actually be a good day to start off with traditional markets. All right, we got traditional markets over here, trending above the top side trailing band. Very, very nice closure on the weekly at the end of last Good Friday, or I guess the day before on Thursday. More importantly, new all-time highs and trending above the top side trailing band is going to make me generally bullish on all major markets, as we do see that the major market indices, especially in U.S. land, are going to be driving, well, mostly everything in the world, as everything is kind of correlated with each other, crypto and Bitcoin included. So I would just generally be having a bullish bias here. Still looking at targets towards north of 4150-ish region, or sorry, yeah, was it 4150? I believe it was 4150, but we did hit our more short-term target from last week, so I'd be looking for a bit of a short-term pullback first based off of this right here, if I can actually pull it up, which would be right around, nope, that's NASDAQ. We want SPY right here. There we go. Yeah, right around the one spot 414. So a little bit of a sideways range between about 4040 and about 4015 region, but ultimately I would be looking for general continuation of the upside. Somewhere around 4150 it would be the next sort of medium term target, and then probably 4200 is going to be a big one long term. With that said, that's going to give me a general bullish bias in pretty much everything within the world right now. Not everything, obviously. There are going to be a few one-offs here and there, but if we go over and check out Mr. Ethereum, which I believe is actually running the market right now and going to be the one to watch, we do see that Ethereum is coming back down to kind of test the breakout level from last week, which was 1950-ish region. I remain bullish on Ethereum, looking for new all-time highs, very likely up to 2500 plus, as long, god damn it, go Lucky. Jesus fucking Christ. As long as 1950 does hold up. Anyways, looking at this right here, we do have a natural sort of risk management point alongside yesterday's low, which is pretty much right around that 1955-ish region. As long as that condition is not met, I look at this as general continuation, just retesting the breakout trend line. And as long as that is not met, I would be still looking at 2150, which we already hit from last week. And this still does have a measure move all the way up north of about 2500 in line with the 2-spot extension right here. Again, a generally good thing for Bitcoin land. Here's the thing: if this area does break, I would even say on a 4-hour too, on a closing basis below 1970. Or just a wick below yesterday's low, pretty much. But I'd probably wait for a closure here, just because it is going to be a little bit more significant. Then I would call this swing failure pattern, and I look for a generally fast move all the way down to about 1820 to 1830-ish region, and probably tries another bounce right there. So with that in mind, I do remain bullish on pretty much everything as long as that condition is not met. Here's what momentum also to say right here too. Yes, we do see actually daily, so it's kind of coming down right now. DMI plus is kind of losing its strength as well, but all of these are still second to actual structures. So I do remain bullish as long as that condition is met. Of course, Bitcoin kind of crawling its way as well. We can see on on CME chart right here. We are testing down to the 2 spot 414 and basically the 20 simple right there as well. I would be looking for a bounce on the first pass of that. Here's the thing though, if Bitcoin does start to break down below that region, I would look for a gap fill alongside, by the way, our rising trend line right here, and also confluent with the 2 spot 272 extension from an extension that's been working for quite some time now. So I do quite like that. And if that did get met and fulfill the gap, I would be looking at that as a major opportunity. Of course, that would also be in line with the 12-hour 55 exponential average. And you might be asking, what is the relevancy of that? Well, ever since October at about 11,000 bucks, all tests down to the 55, although we have gotten some wicks below her, have been incredibly good basing areas for price action. We're talking about right here at about 11,000 bucks. We're talking about right here at about 17.5. We're talking about here at 31 and twice at 31, and then more recently at about 44 to 45,000 bucks, and then most recently at about 52,000 bucks. So if it did come back down, I would have looked at that as a no-brainer. Anyways, more importantly, long term, I still do remain more or less bullish here, as all higher term timeframes are continuation, especially the monthly, that is, of which we are still trending above the top side trend band, with accumulation distribution indicator still having a positive slope. That has been macro continuation for Bitcoin, alongside increasing histogram momentum here too. So with all of that said, I do think right now it's kind of the time to be watching altcoins, Ethereum specifically. And with that said, I would like to wish you the best and the haps of the happiest. Take care. Now, God damn it, go lucky. Oh man, you motherfucker, you. All right, we'll look at BNB USD. Elsa, do not include this in the goddamn wrap up. I do not want to see fucking BNB bullshit in the wrap up ever. It's disgusting. This thing fucking is absolute silliness. But is it bullish as fuck? Yes, it is bullish as fuck, actually. That's the problem with it. Exchange tokens are like the one thing that actually have utility in this market to trade other cryptocurrencies. Yeah, I'd be looking for continuation here, man. It's very obviously continuation right now. Let's see, what would the next sort of targeted region be? Let's see. All right. Short-term target would be about 400 bucks. More long-term target would be 450-ish region. It's going to be a big one. But yeah, continuation is the name of the game on this one. I am looking for further new highs on that one, probably even this week. Anyways, with that said, it's all good, man. It's all good. Go lucky. I'm just giving you shit, man. It's all love. All right, fellas, it's been an absolute pleasure. I am going to be signing off now. I'll be on Twitch a little bit later today if you happen to give a fuck. But with that said, wishing you well once again. Take care and see you soon.